To the untrained eye, this looks like the intro to any other PhiDX video. Except for the fact that I'm not home right now. I'm in the UK co-streaming the Red Bull Golden Letters tournament that we announced a few weeks ago. This was a really, really exciting invitational event, and tomorrow, after the day of recording, is the top 12, the finals. So in case you didn't get to see the tons and tons of Tekken matches that went on both the Red Bull stream and my stream, I'm here to make a recap video so you can be caught up to speed. And at the end of the video, there will be a bunch of fun player interviews. They interviewed a bunch of the players who performed really well in their groups, and they share some really, really hot, spicy Tekken takes. You'll forgive me for stuttering and making a bunch of mistakes because I have been streaming for about 11 hours. So let's go through it. These were the 4 pools. Each pool has, as you can see, 5 players, and the top 3 will qualify. Top 2 will go into the winner's side. The 3rd place player will go into the loser's side. Now, Atif was unwell and couldn't make it, so he was replaced by UK player Gosane. Okay, here is a rundown of the quick rules. That it's a unique tournament. It doesn't run like any other Tekken World Tour event, right? So every group is round robin, top 3 advance. I already said that. But every match is a first to 3. The unique take that makes this event so exciting is you earn a golden letter for getting a perfect or a great. Perfect means you took no damage. Great means you won with like a sliver of HP. If you accumulate 3 golden letters, you instantly win the set. You could be down 0-2. Your opponent could put you on final round, and if you get your 3rd perfect, you win. Okay, so unfortunately, in today's event, nobody ended up getting a golden letters victory, but we got close. So the first group, which again is here, Arslan Ash, AK, Kanan Trench, UU, and Sour Piggy. It started out that most people kind of assumed, I think, that Arslan and AK would take the winner spot, and then it'd be a toss-up for 3rd place. This did not shake up at all like anybody expected. So I'm just going to run through quick highlights. We're not going to do analysis. This is a replay of Kanan Trench versus UU. Kanan Trench getting an incredible early start here. Right. We've seen Kanan Trench play multiple times, especially on my channel. But I think now that we were in his home country of the UK, whether it was comfort, whether he was just really locked in, he was playing extremely well. Everybody was very reactive. It was pretty cool. The set piece was like a bank vault, like they were robbing a bank. Yeah, so he 3-0s UU. He 3-0s UU in his set. So next we had Sour Piggy versus AK. And Sour Piggy was a representative from North America who qualified through one of the qualifiers. So he wasn't invited. He won a tournament to get here. And people, the international players, were pretty scared of bears because the bears do so much chip damage, their offense is so explosive, and Sour Piggy was kind of demonstrating why the bears are so scary. He's in 2-2 final game against AK here. And every game, oh my goodness, my voice is gone. Every game seemed to go to Ortiz Farm at one point or another. But with his back to the ropes, he ends up taking a round. And Sour Piggy has this really cool balance of patient gameplay. Like, look at that. He just simply held back, blocked the slide. It's a huge punish. He has this patient gameplay, but he's also able to harness the craziness of the bears. It's a really cool, balanced style that isn't as crazy as one would expect. Now, he was a Julia player in Tekken 7, so his progress with switching like main characters in this game is very, very impressive. A lot of people who switched to new mains in Tekken 8, I like to give a lot of credit for. Yep, and then the Rage Art is no good, and then he ends up losing to AK. And Sour Piggy, most of his matches in this tournament end up looking like this. Like, he's so close, he's playing extremely well. He actually goes up 2-0 on Arslan Ash in this pool. So this is the set where that happens. I guess I probably spoiled this round, but you know, forgive me. Arslan Ash, obviously no slouch, needs no introduction. But Sour Piggy continuing to play confidently, constantly making reads, making great adjustments, and his style I would probably characterize, I mentioned that it was like very solid and kind of like controlled, but he also is very stubborn. Like, he will run one offensive option over and over and over again and really make you kill him for it. So with that, he goes up 2-0, and you would think, like, is this the end of Arslan? Well, no. As you can see by the score, Arslan rolls Infinite again and has actually come back 2-2 at this point. So Sour Piggy was up 2-0, but Arslan Ash wakes up, takes 2 games right back, and is taking the next round. So at this point, most people watching were like, oh, Arslan's figured out Piggy, the gimmick is over, he's gonna win. And in proof of that, Arslan gets a perfect golden letter victory. Everybody's assuming it's over. But this is where the tenacity and the adaptiveness of Sour Piggy really comes into play. Big electric catching Nina in the open. And the Infinite stage, the reason I bring that up is because bears lose access to their super high damage wall combos on the Infinite stage. Yes, technically the walls are there, but realistically a bear is not getting you to that wall in this match. Nice counter hit back forward 2. And he takes the round back, so it was supposed to be over. It's 2-2. Again, everything first to 3. But Piggy never really cracks. He never really has a moment in his gameplay where you can feel like he gave up or he got nervous. He's gaming the whole time. Goes in heat right away and starts getting to work on chipping. The big threat of bears in this game is not just the chip damage they do and the bear electric and the heat smash, but they have a grab that can delete all the gray health that they build up. So you're encouraged to stand block against the bears so you don't instantly die to like a combo, but if you really sit there for too long, that throw will kill you. He finds a clutch 1-1-1, turns this into a disgusting combo. Rage Art, we'll skip to the end of that. And then baseball slides, turning what was a potential reverse sweep into a final round. Right, so a bit of stubbornness, adaptability, leveraging the bear's explosive combo game. But here he's out of heat a little early and he has a huge mountain to climb. He does burn Nina's heat and now it's a level playing field. But it's a weird, nice hop kick. I was going to say it's really difficult for bears to navigate Nina's small Tekken. He gets a tech roll set up there, doesn't get much out of it. Eats a counter hit slide, that's catastrophic. Arslan messes up the combo. Arslan was talking about how the adjustment between PS5 to PC was difficult for him. In Pakistan, they mostly only play on PS5. But while rising 4, and then he gets a wipe the floor to kill. He did not want to play the game more, he wanted to kill him. So, Sour Piggy playing extremely well. But unfortunately going out 2-3. And his match, if you'll remember, against AK was also 2-3. So Sour Piggy, even though by the time you see the end of the score, it's not gonna look good. Every set he played went down to like the final game. Now this is a replay of Kane and Trench versus Arslan Ash, and this is where the pool started to take kind of a different life, right? We all thought again, Arslan Ash and AK, shoo-ins. But Kane and Trench with a perfect to end game 2. Look, he has 2 golden letters, and he ends up. This replay was a weird match. They just showed the kills at the end of combos. The point is, Kane and Trench beats Arslan Ash 3-1. 3-1 over Arslan Ash, putting him in the lead for this pool. And here, when he fights AK, it's a similar story. Something about playing in his home country, being in the comfort of the Red Bull gaming sphere. I'm gonna shill proudly for this one. It was very impressive. He played so incredibly well. Usually we see Kane and Trench either play a little too safe or a little too predictably, but whether it was the first to 3 environment or just the comfort against these particular players, he was just showing up and he played super well. And despite AK getting a couple rounds back, actually wait, no, gets a game back, my bad. Here we go. And then in this final game on the Coliseum, Kane and Trench stops the comeback and wins 3-1. And with this, Kane and Trench ends up being 4-0 in his pool. What is this replay? No replay here. And then Arslan ends up fighting AK again, and AK actually comes up on top.
looking very, very good. And like they got the trade.
So
you know, he didn't think the combo would have kept it there.
this pool ended up being turned kind of upside down. Despite Sour Piggy's super solid, yeah, and Arslan actually picked June against AK, which was a bit of a surprising pick. He talked about how he didn't really have his Elisa and Yoshimitsu prepared, but the June ended up taking a game, but it wasn't enough to stop AK. 3-1. So Arslan with a bit of a lackluster performance, I think, compared to what people would expect, but he still qualifies in Group A. Kane and Trench 4-0, sweeping the entire pool. AK playing extremely well, and even though Yu and Sour Piggy have these extremely negative scores, if you watch back the matches, which are both on the Red Bull channel and my channel, the scores were pretty close. They were both playing pretty well. The event was just very difficult, and their opponents were just playing well as well. So that wraps up Group A. Group B is not at all any easier, right? So Gosane takes the place of Atif Butt here, but you have JDCR, Speed Kicks, Ayo Richie, and Nino. Now, as you can see right here, so we got. Oh wait, this is an old one. Any minute now. Here we go. Ayo Richie is the previous champion of Red Bull Golden Letters. 2 Red Bull Golden Letters ago. It was Ayo Richie, and then Knee, and then this is the third one. So Ayo Richie is kind of coming in, I don't want to say with like big expectations. I think he just comes to play. But obviously people have eyes on him as a former champion. And he actually plays this event very, very well. However, kind of like with the Yu and Sour Piggy matches, the rounds just ended up slipping away from him. He would have these incredible timing reads and these incredible defensive plays and combo optimization moments. Let me find some here. For example, when he fights Nino here, look at how he finds these hop kicks. Right? He's just jabbing, playing a pretty safe neutral. Eats a big forward 1+2 there. Forward 1+2 there. But then finds a straight down forward 2. And you'll see that all of his combos against the Bears were just super, super optimal. And then hop kick in the open. And pretty much every match went like that. He would just... That's me talking. That's cool. He would just find a down forward 2. He would just find a hop kick. But if we fast forward ahead, Nino is up 2 games. No matter how many launchers Ayo Richie seemed to get, no matter how many optimized combos he would get, big whiff punishes, Nino would just find a way to just steamroll him back. So look at this lead. This looks like a guaranteed 1 round for Leo, right?
Once they're in rage, your chip is so negligible.
But then look, the bear goes into heat, starts chipping away, starts healing a bunch. Suddenly, Ayo Richie has half HP, mostly gray. And just with plus frame mids, Nino has found his way back in, eats a stray hop kick again, right? And he gets that. So you might be surprised to see that this set ends here. Wow, even then there's a Leo combo. I didn't nail my rehearsal timing on getting the actual ending. But there we go, a stray float, huge wall combo, and then a mid. And Nino, despite all the highlights I showed were like losing moments, and almost every round looked like that, but the score says 3-0 in Nino's favor. I find that personally pretty surprising and pretty difficult. Other cool matches from this pool: JDCR versus Speed Kicks. You might remember that at Evo, JDCR beat Speed Kicks' Nina. Most of the time, I asked our mutual friend Tone why he didn't pick Hwarang. And he says, in Korea, everybody knows how to fight against Hwarang, so there's no point. Well, apparently there is a point, because Speed Kicks goes up 2-0. JDCR does start mounting a comeback at this point, so I think the final round count goes to 2-1 here. But Speed's optimization and Speed likes to say that he's influenced by both Korean play and Atlanta play, and he actually finishes JDCR, pause, 3-1 with a perfect. Gosane, the substitute for Atif, also ends up playing really well for most of this pool, but does fall a bit short to Speed Kicks, the JDCR, and to Nino. His law is really cool though. He plays this pretty solid style. Like it doesn't feel like doubles. It doesn't feel like doubles law by any means. But yeah, Gosane putting up a lot of good fights, didn't come out on top. And then Nino is really just the winner of this whole pool. His final score ended up being 4-0. And here, this is probably the closest one, going 2-2 against JDCR. But just look at the plus frames, look at the chip damage. This is what the bears are. Look at all that gray health, and he doesn't even need to land that grab break, like the grab that deletes gray health. He just goes for a few mix-ups to kill and threatens a bunch of the charge stuff. Nino plays different than Sour Piggy, and I think his willingness to spam the gray health chip damage is what kind of gives him an edge. And then in the final match here, both Speed Kicks and Nino were guaranteed at this point to make it out of the pool on the winner's side. Nino 3-0 Speed Kicks. Again, the matches themselves were close, but these are the final results. JDCR, in a surprising twist of events, is in the loser's side. Ao Richie out. Gosane, again, it says 0-4. The matches were pretty close. And Nino dominating. His quick reaction style and the crazy bear gameplay was just too hard for everybody to overcome. But I expect these players will be ready for him in the finals. Moving to Group C, it was a tough day for America. Anakin versus Jod. If you know the results of this pool, Jod dominates. Jod dominates almost everybody he fights in this pool. And Anakin had a bit of a rough day, eating multiple 3-0s. It just felt like he couldn't find his footing in generating a lot of pressure. It wasn't even necessarily that he was making a ton of mistakes, except missing some whiff punishes. It's just his gameplay did not exert enough pressure against the opponents he was up against. Jod, on the other hand, was playing extremely well the entire time. Jod known for his pretty defensive play and extremely optimized combos here. So Shonen is his opponent here, a Jun player from Japan. Jun also plays Asuka, and you can see that the round counts are disgustingly in Jod's favor. A 3-0 in game 2, 3-1 in game 1. And if you've seen my old videos on Jod, you'll know that he is so capable of these multiple different styles, even though he prefers the heavily defensive one that blows you up. And he was playing so confidently today. And when I interviewed him, he talked about how he didn't feel like it was his job to think his way through this. It was his job to play as comfortably as possible. And that's pretty much what happened. His set with Joka was very close. They do know each other. They do play very often. And Joka, who started off the Tekken 8 season very strong, has been kind of in like a contemplation period with Fang. He feels like he doesn't play Fang very well, even in the winning matchups. He really likes Reina, but wasn't confident enough to pull her out. He's in a bit of a transitional period, and the difference in confidence showed. Even though he kept the games really close, Jod found key low blocks against him that were just catastrophic. When it came to... Oh yeah, Ulsan was in this pool, by the way. So this is the pool C we're talking about. Ulsan, Joka, Jod, Anakin, right? When it came to Ulsan, he dominated everyone in a similar fashion to Nino. Almost a score of 4-0, and he's clearly understood the assignment for Tekken 8. He finds the perfect balance of pushing the offense, pulling on the brakes, and letting the opponent whiff their active defense. He will often just say, just do QCF4, and he really proved that game plan makes a lot of sense. When he was watching JDCR, he was co-streaming with me, he was like, just do QCF4, just do QCF4, and then JDCR would drop a combo. He said, oh, JD combo. He was like, he was roasting JDCR constantly, and he said they laugh about it together, like when JDCR drops a combo and they call it a JD combo. But yeah, Ulsan completely dominated this pool, even when it came to him versus Jod, the two kind of dominant players in their pool. Ulsan just looked so strong. This matchup is so funny to kind of watch because we saw a similar thing at EVO with Atif versus Arslan. Even though the playstyles are kind of different, it's interesting seeing the differences in those playstyles, right? Jod actually taking a game off of Ulsan, but as soon as Ulsan kind of starts to figure you out, It just looks so nasty.
In this last scenario right here,
So Ulsan is probably one of the favorites to win this entire event. This is how the group finished up. Ulsan, Jod, and Shonen making it out. Shonen on the loser side. Joka, unfortunately, was unable to make it out, and Anakin also having a bit of a rough day. Last thing I'll say is when you watch Joka versus Shonen, you kind of see how confident Shonen can be. Especially Shonen against Anakin also shows this as well. Shonen is so good at using the pressure of June's counter hits and her big moves just to find little pokes over and over and over again. And Joka just became so hesitant. He didn't know when he had an opportunity to attack. He felt that his timings, he had to second guess. And as soon as that's how you're playing Tekken 8, where you have to second guess your own timings, it's ugly. There, like, this was a heat burst. Like, this should be one of the safest options you can do. But because Shonen's timing was so good, he gets launched out of before the armor can activate. So Shonen was playing extremely well. I spoke to a friend of the Japanese players, and Shonen was disappointed in his Evo performance. So he's very clearly got something to prove here, and his qualification definitely helps with that. So finally, Group D. If you've been sticking around, thank you. I know this is not my smoothest delivery, but we're making it. I wanted to make sure you could watch the top 12, even if you didn't see this event. This is Pool 4, CBM, Yagami, Joey Fury, the Sam Brother, and Tetsu. We thought that this would be the highest variance set, right? Like this, anybody could truly take this. So we didn't know how to predict it. And kind of as expected, it didn't go at all as expected. Tetsu versus Yagami happened on my stream. I felt, you could see Jod is co-streaming with me. I felt bad. I missed the first 20 seconds of this because I had a really good interview with Jod. But he was sharing a lot of insight on how Tetsu was playing. But in this set, it felt like Yagami, and actually every set, Yagami was like an anime character, right? The way he wins, it's not insane. It's not unpredictable. It's almost like so logical. He picks, it's weird. When he does a homing move, it's like, of course he did a homing move. The opponent would sidestep. When he does a mix-up, it's like, yeah, of course they weren't ducking there. He makes the game feel like he takes you along for the ride with him. I don't know how else to describe it. The way he plays Reina is so interesting too, because he very clearly loves the character. He plays Reina with so much of her move list. It's probably the most entertaining Reina to watch because of it. Right? He's on the ropes here, and he finds the low block that he needs. Right? You see the score is 2-2. And look at this combo conversion. He saves Rage, and he heals all the way up, and then just rips it down back too. You're not going to duck. I'll go for the low. It's just simple. 2-2, final round. From literally the edge of death. Plays the send mix-up. And I remember watching this set that Yagami does tons of like forward 2s that he could have confirmed, but whether it was nerves or just condition, he didn't confirm it. So he had to win multiple interactions over and over. But look at the lead he has. No giant combos, just tons of permanent health off of individual interactions. He just has to finish off a Tetsu in heat, which is horrifying. Heat dash. Tetsu hop kick, and Jod says he knew that Tetsu would do that. That's like a Tetsu staple. Now it's either player's game at this point. Forward kip up, forward 2, forward 2, forward 2, 3. Any of those forward 2s that hit could have been the game. But because he wasn't ready, because he had to keep winning interactions. And Yagami carries that momentum against the Sam brother. You'll see that he has 2 perfects. So not only is he on the edge of a golden letters victory, he actually figures out how to navigate the Sam brothers gameplay. The Sam brothers is really cool to watch. He reminds me of a lot of the Saudi Arabian players I've seen before, where they have really cracked reactions, and crazy isn't the right word. They'll just make some decisions that are so fast you wouldn't believe it. And we're getting so hype here because this could be a perfect. Spag is sitting next to me, and the toe kick denies the perfect, but Yagami getting a nice sidestep 2-2 1+2 punish. Right, so Yagami doesn't let the golden letters format distract him, right? Even though there's a potential perfect, even when things go wrong, he just keeps gaming. And the Sam brothers combos are so nice. That's probably tough to do against Reina because she's so much smaller. Oh my goodness. Like, Yagami's bag of tricks is like never empty. running 4 and goes mid. It's just so fun to watch. It feels like he is the Reina player. You know what I mean? If you watch him, you will see tons of things. You'll see tons of strategies. Big whiff punish on the hop kick. He does the empty flip. Like, you don't see anybody use that. He does the stance where Reina crouches down. It's kind of like a... What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, I just said in the commentary. It creates this, like, what's happening in your brain when she doesn't do an attack, but she's still evasive. It looks like a stance. It just adds to the mental stack. And I like the way he does it in situations where he's pretty confident the opponent won't do anything. Nice hop kick from the Sam brother. Huge combo. 1 pixel. Spring kick. Down jab. Forward 2 low parry. So Yagami does it once again. Now, the rest of this pool is pretty crazy. Tetsu, the Sam brother, and Joey Fury end up being in a 3-way tie for the loser spot. If you're wondering where CBM was, he won without dropping a single game. So CBM's score was 4-0, and he simply did not lose. Look at this combo from Tetsu. Look at this combo from Tetsu. Tetsu shows his nerdiness throughout the set. It's actually very, very impressive how optimized he is. But yeah, even when CBM goes against Yagami, Yagami, I think, of the matches I saw, Yagami put up an amazing fight. But something had possessed CBM. I think it's because of the PC play. Both him and Ulsan really enjoyed that this tournament was held on PC. And even though Jin is easier to fight on PC because of reaction, being able to react to his stuff, CBM was just so locked in. He looked so comfortable. Yagami actually switching to Shaheen. Unfortunately, it's not enough. Omen stance. And a simple punish. Yeah, CBM literally had a perfect pool. He did not drop a single game. Here are some last few highlights, and then we'll show how Tetsu versus Joey Fury ended. So, another rough day for NA. Joey Fury having trouble getting solid wins against his opponents. Again, it was just like how we saw with Sour Piggy. It was like how we saw with Ao Richie, where even amongst good gameplay, they just couldn't lock away the rounds, lock away the games. And sometimes tournament play really just comes down to that. Big kill here. Yeah. This play was so cool. I'm so glad they saved this. Forward 2 low parry. We actually saw Yagami try it multiple times, and that's why Tetsu would go mid after. But yeah, the bottom 3 matches, the non-CBM, non-Yagami matches, were super competitive. And yeah, Sam brother does not have enough HP to survive with the Rage Art there. And yeah, in a bit we'll show the player interviews. I think that's really cool content, but wanted to show the last bits of the pool here. So many people get close to taking like a game off CBM. It just never sticks. Tetsu versus Joey Fury. This was the final match of the pool. And Joey Fury, after an initial deficit, ends up fighting back and goes to 2-2 final round on an infinite stage. Let me rewind and start this round. He does a down jab in anticipation of the armor move. Right, it covers multiple options, but because the armor move is a high, he got under it and got to start this round with a launcher. Yeah, CBM looked legitimately unbeatable today. Boom. Boom. Yep, can't finish the combo there. Has to finish Tetsu though. Tetsu blocks the low even like despite whiffing a move in the open. The recovery so fast, but then 2 jab down back 1. Joey secures the win, but the tiebreak rules were set count, game count, and then golden letters. And Tetsu had 7 game wins, putting him over the Sam Brothers 6 and Joey Fury's 5. So these are the final results. 4 O's all the way on the top, which is pretty cool because they didn't have to be that way. It could have been multiple 3-1s. I think so. Yeah, I think that's the case. But the top players came out way on top, and CBM went literally undefeated in games. This is what the final bracket will look like tomorrow. So they'll zoom in a bit. So the loser side is Arslan Ash, Tetsu, JDCR, and Shonen. They'll be waiting for some people on the winner side. And the crazy part about this is any of these players could win the whole thing. They just happen to have 1 less life, right? So it's a fascinating tournament because it's invitational. Everybody is horrifying. In entrenched speed kicks will be the start. CBM versus Jod, Nino versus AK, and then Ulsan versus Yagami, which is a run back. Ulsan, I believe, losing to Yagami in Evo Japan. So yeah, the bracket tomorrow is going to be really, really cool. Now, if you jump to here by the timestamps, welcome back. We have 3 really cool interviews. They have a Kanan Trench, a Speed Kicks interview, and an Ulsan interview. And there's some spicy takes in here. So I'm going to let them play, and I'll let you decide what you think. If you've gotten this far, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow. But
for that group, and I'm
check out these interviews.
With one of the qualifiers out of it, Kane and Trench. It's been a little while, good sir, but it's always a pleasure to see you ruining people's lives with Yoshimitsu. Now, you almost gave something away in that last match against Sour Piggy. Just quick question, how are you feeling as soon as you thought he was gonna try and make that comeback?
Oh yeah, he fails the mic mix-up 3 times. Maybe he fails is the wrong thing to say.
See if I get this on real quick.
But they give him 3 different microphones. None of them work.
One more time so the people at home can hear it.
Literally the 3rd one. Okay.
So with Sour Piggy, it was definitely concerning for me when he was making the comeback because Kuma as a character is very dangerous with his long-range counter-hitting options, and in a Golden Letters setting, it's especially dangerous because his counter-hit options like back forward 2, for example, can lead to easily over 50% life. So he can quite easily run away with perfects, which Sour Piggy actually did so in the very first set between us. So when that happened, immediately I had to be a lot more careful. I was like, okay, don't stick out too many things, don't press buttons in the mid-range, and slowly but surely I was making adjustments, and it worked out in my favor eventually.
We're gonna have to do this the old school way. Now, my next question for you, Kane, is word on the street is your character is the talk of the town at the moment, and you've been getting a lot of success. Now, just preface this, for as long as I've known him, he's been playing Yoshimitsu, and now all of a sudden it's his time to shine, but that's when we've got to put the spotlight on you. What is exactly people are not seeing about Yoshimitsu that you see from a first-hand experience?
So it's a bit of a strange one to explain because obviously Yoshi as a character has always been one of the more advanced, move list, bloated characters in the entire cast.
This is true.
And a lot of the discourse surrounding the character is mainly the fact that in this game, he's received a lot of buffs to his no-sword stance that have helped his overall damage output, as well as him healing in combos because they adjusted how he heals because he used to be able to heal just by turtling through meditation, but now he's healing through aggression through his combos. But from having that, he still keeps all his unique gimmicks as well, like the defensive flash option to stop offense, the evasion spin, which makes a lot of things whiff and can sometimes lead to full whiff punishment. I do agree that in this particular Tekken, it is quite powerful. I've been pretty much trying to say that, in my opinion, he's just outside top 5, just because I think there's a few characters in this game whose overall toolkits I feel are better. Granted, they don't have unique options like he does, but I feel what makes a top tier in this game is you don't have any weaknesses at all, and I still believe Yoshi does have a few weaknesses. His low game, outside of his risky full crouch sweep, is quite lackluster in terms of damage and frames. His sword sweep is very risky to do if you don't place it right because he can easily get launched if you whiff it. And he doesn't have a chunky punish against strong lows that are like -13 or less, which I feel people don't take advantage of too much. Like if you're playing like Brian, for example, just abuse the hatchet kick. Like don't be afraid to. Like he can't hit it hard. So for that reason, I feel like he's not like stupidly broken, but I'm not so naive to think that he's in the best place he's ever been right now. Like the damage output along with all the unique gimmicks makes him a very strong character, able to compete with like all these other top tiers.
Well, if you want a lesson of how to downplay your character 101, live and direct here from the Golden Letters, Jackson Lotes from Ken and Trent. Last thing from me.
So it is your job, I think, as a pro player to elegantly downplay your character because they're listening and they're watching the developers. So I truly think if you are a serious pro, it is in your best interest to either not say anything or downplay. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful art. It's becoming an art. He acknowledged some strengths in order to avoid expressing how egregious Yoshi's strengths are. And I am an aspiring Yoshimitsu player. It's in my interest that they don't nerf him. But if I'm keeping it real with you guys, Eric's crazy,
Basically,
man.
swept that group with flying colors here. Is there anyone you really want to play in this format and really test your waters against? Because, I mean, you've done it against AK, you've done it against Arslan. Are we gunning for Ulsan, maybe?
I think, yeah, because the first thing I was thinking going into this, I wanted the run back with Arslan from Tekken More Tour because I lost to him previously. So I definitely wanted a first of 3 run back with him. And now that I've managed to get the win over that, I think Ulsan is definitely the one I'm gunning for next because I'm always trying to aim higher, try to play the best players in the world because it's always a fun experience to me. Like, it's not even just the fact of like trying to win, it's just getting to play against them is such an honor. So I definitely hope I can run into him in the bracket tomorrow.
Okay, wise words and downplaying words from our guy, Caden Trench here. You'll get to catch him tomorrow in the double elimination race because I believe he is done for today. But what we are going to do is we're going to take a short break. But before...
All right, so that was the Caden Trench masterclass in downplaying. Now, follow-up interview from Speed Kicks after his pool is something I think that's very profound for people who might be feeling frustration with Tekken 8.
He's retired. He traumatized PhiDX in another fighting game. He came 9th at EVO. So he's a walking contradiction at this point, but he can play Tekken 8. Speed Kicks. Pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Just went 3-1 in my pool. I can't complain, man.
Now, I got to ask you, you came out basically firing on all cylinders. And I've noticed when you talk about Tekken, when you play Tekken, there's something, you're kind of like free reign. You're like, okay, we have these mechanics, the ball's in my court, I'm gonna make you think about my choices instead of the other way around. Are players missing something in this game? Are they too conservative or are they just too scared? What is it?
I think it's I don't want to say they're too scared, but it's a lot of trained habits from the past 7 years of Tekken 7.
Okay.
Where in that game, if someone was going...
Move your mic up there.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go. If someone was going too crazy in that game, you would slow down, you'd just look at them, you'd move around, use your backdash, and they would eventually just lose because the risk rewards in the defender's favor. So that habit is still there. People, you train for a long time in that game. It's going to be your base instincts. But in this game, you kind of have to switch that up. The person who's attacking is like on advantage. So I'm thinking, even if I have a bad matchup, I'm just like, I'm going to go in and see if he can stop me.
But then, how difficult is it to untrain bad habits? This is an entirely new system. The Heat system was completely fresh. Tekken fundamentals went out the window. New mechanics came in. And it seems that new names have come in and prospered. Guys like yourself have taken advantage of that. So how difficult is it to untrain and relearn something?
It's very difficult the first time. So I think I had a similar issue at the start of Tekken 7 because Tekken Tag 2 was my first Tekken.
Okay.
At the start of Tekken 7, I could not adapt to like the slower gameplay, the more kind of just wait and see what happens, defend your advantage. But because I've gone through that one time already, I think adjusting to the game, this game makes it a lot easier. But for the people who started with Tekken 7 or the people who were super dominant in Tekken 7, right, they had a bit of a harder time adjusting. But even out of that, we see like players like Arslan, Atif, they figured out the meta pretty quick, got right to it, and now they're getting super aggressive. It's pretty sick.
Listen to that. You need to understand it. As soon as you figure out the meta, go nuts. You have to pick a character, fight dirt in a boxing match. Please go and do so. Talk to me about Hwoarang real quick. I know K-Wiz plays him a little bit, but I need the American perspective. Is he top 10? Is he not that good? Are you going to downplay your character? Are you going to sell him? Talk to me.
Okay, so I think he is, if the other person knows what's going on, I'd say he's like a lower mid-tier.
Okay.
Or if they don't know what's going on, right? I said if they know what's going on, he's a lower mid-tier.
Yes.
But if they don't, I think he's super good, right? If they're just playing off of defensive instinct without like knowing all the situations about Hwoarang, then it's pretty abusable. So first thing I try to figure out when I'm playing someone is how much they know, which version of Hwoarang do I have to play?
Oh, easily. You could do that with like what, the first 20 seconds?
Yeah. You test how they're moving, you test where they're challenging. If they choose to be completely passive, I know it's going to be kind of easier for me.
All right. Well, listen, he's made it out of his group. Not top spot, because that was Nino, but he got there 3-1. So if you want to know how to retire and continue to play, just ask Speed Kicks.
This guy keeps roasting
everybody.
everybody.
Ask him is make sure you go and get some groceries from...
All right, so that was the Speed Kicks interview. Here is our final interview with Ulsan.
Much love to our commentators, Steve and Rip. Like they said, I'm with EWC champion, UFA champion, Clash of the Olympians champion, top of your group. I mean, do I need to bow? Do I need to stay away? I mean, you're such a good player. The question I got to ask you, Ulsan, are you the best player in Tekken 8 right now?
How I feel?
No, are you the best player in the game right now?
Who I think the
Yeah,
best
who,
player.
who do you think is the best player? I think it's you.
I love humble bro. So I think Aslanesh,
You think Arslan's the best?
Atif,
Okay.
and CBM.
Okay. Yeah, humble. CBM will definitely.
Not me.
See, he's trolling Oli on camera. He's doing this on purpose. Right. My next question for you is, you're playing Dragonov right now. Is Dragonov a top 5 character or no?
Strongest.
He's the strongest in the game.
Strongest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that why you're winning all the tournaments or?
No, I mean that character is like on the tournaments. There's all the player get take nervous, you know. But like Dragonov's moves are very simple.
Okay.
And then just he make the game plan is very easy to win with Dragonov. Just down 2, down 4, 1, and he have a good movement and easy counter confirm. I think that's why he works very good on the like big tournaments.
Okay. My last question for you is, because I remember you said to me earlier, Joker has had a good time against you in tournament, but today you were able to overcome him. What would you attribute that towards? Do you have a better game plan this time round, or?
When I lost against Joker, maybe I lost all of the match against him, maybe in my Tekken life. But at that time, I played Kazumi, the worst character at the final of Tekken 7. But I picked now the top tier character. I think that's why I switched good character.
Okay, that's easy.
But I have matched with the Joker before. I felt he still know me. He still know my
Habits?
like play style habits. I felt it, and then I just think about I have to relax again, and then winning. Yeah.
That's good. Well, lucky for you, he's actually not coming out of the group. So you're actually good in that regard. Now, one last thing I got to do is for the people that get out of their group, 4-0 top spot, I get them a little gift, which is from our GoPro sponsor. So you can pick any one of these. GoPuff, sorry. There you go. Oh, you picked the gold bar. I thought aren't you the EWC champion? Do you need that? I thought you need some.
Yeah, I love money.
Do you want to say it to the camera right now?
No, who don't like it? You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's someone out there who don't.
You don't like?
Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. You could share some of yours with me if you want. That's nice. That's a good chocolate. You want that one?
Haribo.
Okay, he's going to take that one. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you want snacks like Ulsan and help you win, you can always get our sponsor.
So yeah, that was the third interview. Thank you for sticking around. This went way longer than I wanted it to, but the event went really, really well. Tomorrow we have the top 12, and I'm pretty excited for the finals. I'm pretty excited to be here. This is pretty cool. So leave a comment if you'll be checking out the games tomorrow. Downplaying is an art, okay? So be smart about how you do it. You can definitely make things worse for your character if you downplay the wrong way. So take notes on how these guys did it. That's pretty important. All I got for you today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.